Welcome back to the Tarp Sports Podcast, YouTube, whatever you're listening on. This is UFC Paris full card predictions. Let's get into it. Kicking it off with the main event, Nasruddin taking on Caio. This is most likely number one contenders fight. This is a 185 division that has a ton of number one contenders right now. It's kind of lost, so whoever's the most impressive is most likely going to get that title fight. So both guys are going to show out. Caio undefeated in the UFC, 7-0. He has 2 wins on Dana White Contender Series. Technically 9-0 if you want to count that. Imavov, 8-2-1. He's on a 4-fight win streak. For more ways to win, I would lean Caio. Caio mixes into grappling very well. Imavov, his nickname's the Russian Sniper for a reason. He's deadly on the feet. And Imavov's takedown defense is really good. 78% takedown defense. I don't know how well that's been tested, especially at the 185 division. Caio has a 60% takedown accuracy. So if Caio can get this to the mat, I like him to control this fight, but it's going to be hard. Imavov has way more pressure on the feet. Like I said before, his nickname's the Russian Sniper for a reason. He is deadly, man. So Caio has to protect himself, which hasn't been an issue because Caio has never been finished. Imavov, he's been subbed one time in his career with a ton of fights. The thing that scares me, I love this fight to go to decision. They're fighting in France. Any close round's going to go to Imavov just because he is the French fighter. So if I had to pick a winner, I wouldn't pick a winner in this one to put money on. But for the sake of the video, if I had to pick one, it would be Imavov by decision. I do think if this was anywhere else, Caio would probably get the nod. But like I said before, any close round's going to go to Imavov. He's probably going to do more damage than Caio. Caio's not really much of a finisher. So love this fight to go to distance. Love that play, even in a 5-round fight. Caio only had one main event so far. That's another thing. He looked great in it. Imavov, this is his 5th main event, so he's been introduced to that 5-round club, and that's a huge advantage. But Caio, in his one main event he did not look like his gas tank was bad at all. But I do lean Imavov by decision in this one. Next fight, BSD taking on Rufi. This is going to be a really good fight. This is going to be a close fight, so I'm surprised to see Mauricio be minus 200. BSD had a huge downfall from Grace after that Dustin loss, then he got dominated by Moicano. I think everyone likes Moicano, but I think if everyone's being realistic, we all know what he is. And it's not a bad thing he's a top guy, but he's just not a title contender. That was a really bad loss for Saint Denis, and I think it was more of his confidence was shocked after the Poirier fight, because I do think Saint Denis fell in love with his hands. He really has slick submissions, and he just went away from all that because he started getting knockouts in the UFC. And let's be real, he hasn't been the best on the feet. He's an extremely durable guy. He's only been KO'd twice in his career. I do think he has more ways to win this fight, at least from what we've seen so far from Mauricio Rufi. He's really a knockout artist, 12-1 with 11 KOs. I love this fight to not go to distance. Both these guys are killed or be killed. They are extremely durable, but the way they fight, man, they have been finished before. Like I just talked about Saint Denis getting KO'd twice in his career, and then Rufi, his one loss was by KO. And I think Saint Denis in France and Paris, I think he's going to get a little bit of a boost. I like him as the dog in this one, I really do, and not just because it's in France. I just think he has more ways to win this fight. Rufi has 100% takedown defense. It's not really that tested. All the takedown attempts was from top, and he's not a grappler, especially not level of Saint Denis. I think Saint Denis can get this fight to the ground, and I think he can find a submission win now. Mauricio's been training, obviously, with Fighting Nerds, so his grappling should be on par. We shall see, though, but I do like Saint Denis to win this one. I'm not picking a method because he's the underdog, plus 170. Give me Saint Denis. Next fight, Okai taking on Jones. Okai 2-1 in the UFC. His one loss is to Chris Duncan, who I'm extremely high on. He's looking like a top guy right now. Jones, he left the UFC after a 1-2-1 start in 2022. He came back this year in 2025. I believe he beat Stevens. Not the best win for him. An older guy that came back to the UFC on short notice. They both mix it up extremely well, right? Jones and Okai both get the takedowns. But I think Okai has more ways to win this fight. He gets hit less. He's more accurate. He has an 85% takedown defense with a 75% takedown accuracy. They're both extremely durable. Jones has never been finished in 18 professional fights. Okai's been subbed one time, and it was to Chris Duncan, and I don't think Mason Jones is on that level of Chris Duncan. I like Okai in this one, man. I don't really understand why he's the underdog. This is probably going to end up being the hammer play of the week. I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely bullish. Mason Jones is durable. He's never been finished, so I like Okai by decision in this one. Next up, the easiest fight to break down, Bukauskas taking on Paul Craig. At this point in Paul Craig's career, he's either getting a submission or he's getting KO. You're most likely going to take Bukauskas by KO. Craig by submission's always worth a sprinkle because it's always a decent odds. But let's be realistic here at this stage, doesn't really fight back well on his back anymore. It's just Paul Craig. We know what it is. Give me Bukauskas by KO. Next fight, Zayam taking on Fernandez. Surprise Fernandez is this big of a dog. Fernandez 2-1 UFC. Zayam 7-2. Zayam's a way bigger fighter, man. He's 6'1". Usually at this weight class, you're seeing guys like Fernandez, 5'9". But with that huge height advantage, he doesn't have the reach advantage. Just a 75 reach, and for Fernandez, he has a 73, so not the biggest difference there. Fernandez has 100% takedown accuracy. That's extremely good, but he just has 3 takedowns in the UFC. So he doesn't shoot a lot, but when he shoots, he scores. 76% takedown defense, that's extremely good. Zayam has a 70% takedown defense as well. It's most likely going to stay on the feet. I don't see these guys shooting a lot in this fight. Maybe Zayam mixes it up a little bit more. His average takedown per 15 minutes is 1.62 in comparison to Fernandez, who's 1.3. With both having great takedown defense, I think they're not going to want to waste that energy. Especially in a fight like this, these guys are both extremely active. The striking numbers are extremely similar as well. Zayam, 64% striking defense, so he's not getting hit a lot, and he has a 51% strike accuracy. Fernandez, 54% strike accuracy, and a 61% defense. So both these guys are landing above 50% and avoiding strikes over 60% of the time. Fernandez never finished. Zayam never KO'd, but he got sub 3 times. So Fernandez, his path to victory, I think, is to get this on the mat, and he can do that, but not at a good rate, right? Like, he doesn't mix it up as well as I would like him to, but because the numbers are so close, I do think Fernandez at plus 280 is worth a sprinkle. I would go Fernandez, and I would sprinkle in him by decision. Next up, UFC newcomer Chiesa taking on Pitbull. This is Pitbull's 3rd UFC fight already, being extremely active since coming over from Bellator. Chiesa's UFC debut, like I said, he is 16-1 with 10 KOs, so he's a knockout artist. Pitbull will probably put on a grappling clinic in this one. He's an extremely good grappler. He hasn't really shown it yet in the UFC. That's the reason why I picked him versus Yair Rodriguez, but he didn't use it, like I said, so we haven't seen it yet. The thing that scares me is Pitbull is 38 years old. He came over to UFC way past his prime. I wish we seen him in his prime in UFC, but we didn't do that. But I'm extremely surprised to see Pitbull as a favorite. He's an extremely durable guy. We haven't seen him finished a ton. I do like Pitbull in this fight. I like him by decision in this one, or by submission could be a very sneaky play as well. I don't think he will get a KO. So if you want to do a double chance with submission or decision, love that. But if you want to go even better odds, I like him by decision. And you can sprinkle in submission as well, but give me Pitbull in this one overall. Next fight, Gomez taking on Ruchala. This is Ruchala's UFC debut. There's a couple UFC debuts on this card, so it should be an interesting card. Ruchala mixes it up pretty well. He's 11-1, 3 KOs, 3 submissions. Gomez has a 73% takedown defense, so it's going to be hard to take him down and on the feet. From what I've seen from Gomez in the UFC so far, pretty good on the feet, man. The path to victory is to get him to the ground. He's been submitted one time in his career. Ruchala's been KO'd once, so both extremely durable, considering that they only been finished one time in their careers each. The odds show it. I can't take UFC newcomers anymore unless you're established already, like a Chandler, like a Pitbull. Ruchala's not established, so give me Gomez by this one. If I had to pick a method, it would be by decision, but I think Gomez is a really good parlay piece. Next fight, Sai taking on Brenson. These odds surprise me. Sai minus 450 is kind of insane to me. He's had one actual UFC level fight so far, and he lost it. Now, Brenson hasn't fought world beaters either, but he has beaten people I think are better than what Sai has beat. I mean, Brenson, I think he's worth a sprinkle at plus 325. Sai is statistically a lot better, but like I said, he's fought 2 guys that probably won't be in UFC much longer if they hadn't been caught already. Brenson, he just looked better versus better competition. He's lost to UFC level guys as well. I just don't like either of these guys, so for me in this one, it's Brenson or pass. I can't lay that for Sai. I don't think he's a good parlay piece. I said that against Alonzo Menefield when he was a huge favorite and lost. So give me Brenson in this one, money line, plus 325. This is just a stay away. Do I think it's worth a sprinkle? Yes. Am I personally willing to do it? Most likely no. So dog or pass for me on this one. Next up, Marcin Tybura taking on Ante Delija, I believe that's how you pronounce that. This is Delia's UFC debut. This is a pick'em. As of right now, Delia is a slight favorite. I don't know why. Tybura's been fighting in the UFC since 2016. Since 2020, Tybura's only losses are to Volkov, Aspinall, who's the champion, and Spivak. If Delija comes into UFC on that level, which I don't think he is, he already has 6 losses in his career. He hasn't been fighting in UFC. There's levels to this. I think Tybura is going to show that. I think Tybura Pereira might be the hammer play this upcoming card. You always got to wait till after weigh-ins. I like to see how these guys look, but heavyweight, I mean, these guys aren't really cutting a lot of weight. I love Marcin Tybura in this fight. I hope this fight doesn't get canceled. I think this fight's going to make us a lot of money. Give me Tybura in this one. I'm not picking a method. If I had to, it would be by finish just because it's heavyweight. Give me Tybura just straight up in this one, man. Next up, Rhys McKee taking on Axel Sola. Sola's also making his UFC debut, and I always say I can't take the newcomers in the UFC. But I don't think McKee's UFC level. He's entertaining, to say the least, but 1-4 in the UFC. Only win, I was not impressed. Give me Sola in this one. He's from France, right? It seems like he's a newcomer from France that they're going to want to get over quick, especially with the French audience. And who's the guy to do it? Rhys McKee, who probably, if he didn't take this fight, would have got cut. So give me Sola in this one. I will say Rhys McKee is actually pretty durable. Most Irish guys are. Give me Sola by decision in this one, but I mean, the odds are good enough to just take the money line. Next fight, Sam Patterson taking on Trey Waters. I think this has the potential to be fight of the night. I think this fight is going to be extremely entertaining. This is going to be a close fight. The odds kind of indicate that. -160, +135. Patterson 4-1 UFC, Waters 2-1 UFC. Patterson, he's known to be a little chinny, right? His 2 losses, he did get KO'd, but he has 5 KOs himself and 7 subs. So 13 wins, 12 by finish. He's a finisher, and I think I like him just because of that, right? Like, I know a lot of guys don't like guys that are finish artists, whether it's knockout or submission, but Sam Patterson mixes it up extremely well. But so does Trey Waters. Trey Waters 9-1, 3 KOs, 3 subs. He did get submitted once in his career, but Trey Waters is more durable, which honestly I put a lot of my coinage into when I'm looking at fights. But I do think Patterson does have more ways to win. He has slick submissions, and he hasn't really shown that yet in the UFC. I'd like Sam Patterson to win this fight. If I had to pick a method, it would be by submission. Next fight, Tavares taking on Brysek. Tavares has been in the UFC since 2010. Ton of experience. Brysek joined in 2024. He lost his UFC debut. This is going to be a weird one, man. Tavares is -220. It's for a reason. They like the experience. Brysek is a newcomer in the UFC. He's still 35 years old. Tavares 37. I think Tavares can pull this one out. He's not really the biggest finisher. He has 21 wins, only 7 finishes. Brysek, for what it's worth, I know he hasn't had a ton of UFC competition, but he's only been KO'd 1 time in his career, and he's only been submitted 1 time in his career. So I love this fight to go the distance. And if I had to pick a winner, it would be Tavares. I wouldn't really trust Tavares, though. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't play him any parlays or anything. I just haven't liked what I've seen from him recently, mostly because of old age. But Brysek is also older, so we'll see what happens, but I would avoid this fight totally. I do like it to go to distance, though. I think that's the safest play. I think both guys protect themselves very well. As for winner, give me Tavares by decision. Gustafsson taking on Renat. This is going to be an extremely fun fight. It could possibly be fight of the night. Can't believe this is just the second fight on the card. Both guys never been finished. Extremely durable, so I love this fight to go to distance. Renat 5-0 and 1 in the UFC. Gustafsson 2-0 in the UFC. Renat has a 91% takedown defense. Gustafsson applies extreme pressure. He mixes it up pretty well, but Renat's 91% takedown defense. I think he can keep this on the feet. As for the striking, both are extremely good on the feet. Gustafsson has a 76% striking accuracy, so that's extremely well, but Renat, man, he's hard to find. He has a great stance. He has great movement. Both in similar age, 33, 34 years old. This is going to be a tough one, man, but every time I say, if you can get a fighter that's name ends in OV at even the plus money, you have to take it. So give me Renat in this one. Give me him by decision. Last but not least, Bannon taking on Hughes. I do think this is a low-level MMA fight. I think Hughes will most likely end up being able to just wrestle fuck Bannon. But at this low of a level, I mean, the dog is always in play. So I'm not willing to lay 330 on Hughes. And I don't trust her for a parlay piece, so give me Bannon in this one, plus 260. That does it for UFC Paris full card predictions. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Guys, official plays will be in my Discord or on social media. If you subscribe, it'll be in my shorts, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. But thank you for tuning in. Share your degenerate uncle. Let's win some Gitas UFC Paris full card predictions.